Even though we are the dominating species on our planet, so-called man-eaters, larger animals, can still feed on us due to our superior cognition. Welcome everyone! In today's video, we're going to look at top 10 moments where humans were eaten alive by animals. The following 10 historical incidents are. But before we proceed, if you're new to this channel, remember, go ahead and hit the bell icon to subscribe so you won't miss the informative videos we will upload in the future. 1. Tsavo Man-Eaters. In 1898, two male lions repeatedly attacked workmen constructing a railroad bridge over the Tsavo River in what is now Kenya over a period of several months. The lions, known as the Ghost in the Darkness, are said to have murdered up to 140 people and eaten many of them, although historians today think that the real death toll was probably closer to 35. John Henry Patterson, an Anglo-Irish engineer, eventually killed the roving lions and had their pelts turned into rugs. 2. Champawat Tigress. In the early 1900s, it is believed that a female tiger was responsible for killing around 400 people in Nepal and India over the course of 8 years. Jim Corbett, a British hunter who was born in India, was eventually successful in taking down the large cat that was known as the Champawat Tigress. After 30 years, Jim Corbett was successful in killing a couple of tigers that were believed to be responsible for the murders of over 60 people in India over the course of 5 years. 3. Leopard of the Central Provinces. It's also been documented that leopards will assault and even murder humans. One of the most infamous events occurred in India in the early 1900s and included a leopard known as the Leopard of the Central Provinces. This leopard was responsible for the deaths of approximately 150 people, all of whom were women and children. Over the course of just a couple of years, it was eventually put to death by being shot. 4. Jaws. It is not at all unusual for tales about animals that consume humans to make their way into popular culture. For instance, the American novelist Michael Crichton based part of his novel Jaws on a series of shark attacks that occurred in the state of New Jersey in the month of July 1916. These attacks resulted in the deaths of 4 people and the injury of 1 other. In the beginning of that month, 2 men drowned while swimming at local resorts. A week later, an 11-year-old boy named Lester Stillwell also drowned, and his would-be rescuer, Stanley Fisher, also perished. The local fishermen went on a shark-killing rampage, which resulted in the death of a 7-foot great white shark, which many people believed to be the creature that had been eating people. However, the extent of its participation was never completely established. At this point, it is thought highly likely that more than 1 shark was responsible for the attacks. 5. Bear of Mysore. It is believed that in 1957 a sloth bear in the area of Bangalore, now Bengaluru, India, known as the sloth bear of Mysore, was responsible for the deaths of 12 people and the injuries of twice as many. Only a handful of its victims were actually consumed. A bear was finally killed in the vicinity by Indian-born British hunter Kenneth Anderson. However, it's unclear whether this bear was the culprit. It is now believed that it is highly unlikely that a single animal was responsible for all of the attacks. 6. Gust of the Crocodile. One supposedly legendary monster that truly exists is Gust of the Crocodile. Numerous fatal crocodile attacks on villagers have occurred around Lake Tanganyika in Burundi since 1987, frequently on individuals who were fishing or taking a bath. Numerous reports speak about a crocodile that is unusually huge and has a noticeable scar on its head. A photographer with Adventure magazine chased and captured Gustav in 2005. The crocodile was thought to be 20 feet long, 60 years old, and weighed a full ton at the time. Gustav vanished after numerous failed attempts to seize and move the crocodile. He wasn't seen since 2009. Unconfirmed reports state that the crocodile has killed more than 300 people. However, some estimate the death toll to be closer to 67. The leopard of Rutraprayag. Years after taking down the Champawat man-eating tiger, author and hunter Jim Corbett was once more tasked with eliminating a large cat that preyed on humans. In 1918, the attack started in the Indian town of Benji and persisted for years. According to reports, the leopard was so brazen that it started smashing into occupied homes and dragging residents outside. By 1925, Corbett had been hired by the British Parliament. Before killing the leopard in Rudraprayag, Corbett pursued it for the majority of the following 2 years. Corbett later proposed the theory that the animal became attracted to people after consuming the remains of influenza pandemic victims in 1918. The leopard's severe gum recession and tooth loss, however, were discovered to be major contributing factors to its altered behavior. 8. A brown bear attacked. An Ushuri brown bear frequently assaulted residents of Sankebetsu Rokusensawa, a community 18 miles inland from Hokkaido's west coast, starting in November 1915. The 1915 episode that came to be known as the Sankebetsu brown bear incident was meticulously documented by Imperial Japan. Winter, when Ushuri brown bears would typically be hibernating, is when the villagers' first interactions with the bear occurred. A bear was found by the villagers munching on corn from a storage. The people believed they had drove the bear away when they fought it and injured it. The bear killed a baby and its caregiver, Abe Mayu, when it broke into the Ote family's home on December 9. The frightened locals responded by arming themselves and assembling to kill the bear and defend adjacent homes. That evening, the bear was able to evade chasing hunters and attack the Mayuki home, inflicting additional fatal injuries. A 60-person search party was organized to find the bear on December 13, as it was still robbing local homes. It was 749 pounds in weight and 9 feet tall. 9. An Indonesian farmer was devoured by a python in 2017 on the Indonesian island of Sulawesi. A 25-year-old farmer called Akbar Salubiro vanished in the area of his hamlet. Later, a 23-foot-long bloated python that was writhing awkwardly was found by neighbors. The farmer was completely ingested by the snake. The death of Salubiro was the first python-related fatality that was completely established, despite the fact that the big snakes usually feed on cattle and smaller animals. Watiba 54 was killed by a second, much larger python in Sulawesi. The next year. 10. Deadly shark attacks. A string of fatal shark attacks took place along the Jersey shore in the summer of 1916. On July 1, Charles Van Sant, who was killed close to Beach Haven, was the first victim. 5 days later, a second attack left bellhop Charles Bruder dead in Spring Lake, 45 miles to the north. When 11-year-old Lester Stillwell was fatally attacked while swimming in a freshwater creek on July 12, another attack took place 30 miles inland. Watson Stanley Fisher, a bystander, was killed while attempting to help Stillwell. Half an hour later, Joseph Dunn, a nearby teenager, was bitten but lived. The East Coast was stunned by the strikes. Citizens launched a large hunt as retaliation, killing a lot of sharks in the process. However, it's unclear if the offending animal was actually apprehended. Peter Benchley's book Jaws is frequently credited with drawing inspiration from the 1916 shark attacks at the Jersey Shore. However, Benchley disputes this. That's all for today's video. Tell us in the comments area below if these instances scared you. Don't forget to like the video and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any new videos from our channel. Thanks for watching and see you all soon.